Hello and welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on our program, we'll talk to the director of the French-Israeli film, The Dune. Take a look at the new dance craze taking over Colombia. And we'll hear about the latest in albums of world music. Yossi Avirm is a director and cinematographer. His new film, The Dune, an Israeli-French co-production, has been released in France and is headed to Israeli cinemas in November. I'm very happy to have Yossi in the studio. Thanks for coming in, Yossi.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about The Dune. What is it about?
It's a beautiful film. It's a kind of it's a story about a man founded on the beach in France, without papers, without identity, and he doesn't speak.
Okay.
And then there is I don't know if we see that, but then there is a researcher from Paris that arrived to the area to
find information
to try and resolve this mystery, who is this man?
Okay. Now, this is your first fiction feature. Before that, you did do a documentary. How do you move from making a documentary to fiction?
It's two different kind of works. I mean, I studied cinema. I came from love of cinema, so for me, fiction was kind of the target, or it was natural to. I always wrote screenplays, so I didn't even feel that I pass from one thing to another. I mean, it's the same kind of art or.
Okay, it's different. The process of working on it is quite different. How did you start working on?
Yeah. The system is completely different. I mean, documentaries we make 2-3 people. We edit at home. Everything is very relaxed, comparing to this kind of. Huge budget and responsibility and tight schedule, and it's. How did I start? I wrote a screenplay. I met here producer Amir Harel from Lama Films and Ayelet Kite. They loved the screenplay. We worked together, and then we found Le Film de Poisson in Paris.
Right, and the story in the film was inspired by a documentary you made, or by an actual event that took place?
The story is inspired. I mean, it started from a real event that happened in England. That we found somebody on the beach, and for weeks they tried to figure out who is it. And then the characters are inspired by real characters from my life, and it's all mixed up. I mean, we stole things from our life from.
Okay, and you chose, as we said, it's a co-production, a French-Israeli co-production. How did that happen? How do you get the French on board, and why France?
First of all, because the film passed in France. I mean, most of the film is happening in France, so it was very natural. And also today, as you probably know, many of the Israeli films are made with co-productions, and because I think the audience or the spectators just interested in Israeli.
Why do you think that is? That so many Israeli films nowadays have a European production element?
I'm not an expert, but sadly, I think it's first of all a question of money. I mean, it becomes more and more difficult to make films in Israel with the budget we can have here from Israeli money. So, but it's all around the world. I think. I mean, except from the US.
Now, you managed to get some big names, especially for a first film.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, it was quite a chance. Well, Niels Arestrup liked the screenplay, and then when he was in, it was easier to construct the casting like around him, because when you have one actor, it's like easier to.
There's star power attached to the project.
And I think the characters were interesting for the actors.
Right.
I'm proud to say.
As an Israeli director who worked according to the way things are done here, suddenly going to a French production, a lot of money, a French crew. Was there any difficulties or the style of work?
Not really. I mean, it was sometimes it was difficult as usual, like in shooting.
Making a film is never easy.
Exactly, but no, I was surrounded by great people, and they had a lot of respect to the work, to the film, to me. I mean, to my role. And it was.
If now you'll have to find yourself making another film in Israel, is that even an option for you now, or are you now?
Of course. It's. I mean, a film. It's a film. It's
are you working on anything?
Yeah, I'm writing 2 other screenplays, and I just finished another documentary, and we need some patience.
Life is good.
I need some patience.
Yossi Avirm, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Moving on, now from the coast of Colombia comes the next dance craze, Salsa Choke, following in the footsteps of viral dances like the Macarena and the Harlem Shake. It transcends social barriers and crosses international borders. Daniel Campos tells us more.
Move over Harlem Shake. There's a new dance in town. Colombia has been taken over by a new dance craze, Salsa Choke, a genre of music and dance which originated in the Pacific coast of the country, in the impoverished district of Agua Blanca in Cali. The dance has spread all over the country, and the recipe of its success is the fusion of sounds from the Pacific coast with reggaeton and rap. And let's not forget the very catchy dance steps. 2014 was a very important year for this genre of music. The explosion began with the local hit Rastastas by the band Cali Flow Latino. Colombia's soccer team made the Salsa Choke even more popular by making it their official celebration move. Now the dance is present everywhere, on urban dance floors, discotheques, outdoor spaces, and even exercise groups. In Colombia, dance is in the DNA of the people. It goes beyond entertainment and has a unifying role in bringing people from different ages, races, and social backgrounds together. Dance is so central to Colombia's popular culture that you can even find it in the art of Fernando Botero, probably the country's most famous painter. Although Colombia has a big music industry of its own, the country is also impacted by international hits. In 1989, Lambada by the French-Brazilian band Kaoma was a major hit on the dance floors around the country. And in 1994, it was the Macarena by the Spanish group Los del Rio, which had taken over the clubs and airwaves. The Salsa Choke is already crossing international borders, so don't be surprised if in the coming months you spot the dance on the streets of your very own city. Just learn the moves and join in.
World-renowned conductor Daniel Barenboim recently visited his home country of Argentina and gave a special open-air performance. Sandy Fortis has the story.
Thousands of spectators gathered for an unusual free concert, led by world-renowned Israeli-Argentinian pianist and conductor Daniel Barenboim. The location? A bridge in Buenos Aires. Currently in Argentina for the Barenboim Festival, which was held in the prestigious Teatro Colón, the conductor wanted to offer the public something special. A platform has been especially designed for the occasion on the Alsina Bridge, located on the border dividing the city of Buenos Aires and the Buenos Aires province. Born in Argentina, Daniel Barenboim grew up in Israel, but he is still very much attached to his roots.
One of the first lessons I learned is that in Argentina you can be Polish, German, Jewish, Syrian, Lebanese, Turkish, and still no less Argentinian as a result.
Barenboim performed with his West Eastern Divine Orchestra that consists of young musicians from diverse Middle Eastern backgrounds, including both Israelis and Palestinians. The orchestra was founded by Barenboim and the late Palestinian-American intellectual Edward Said in 1999 to promote understanding and peace in the region. It's been 15 years since the orchestra was formed, and after all these years, they continue to promote their message of hope, even during the difficult moments the Middle East is currently facing.
In just a moment, we'll hear about the latest and greatest in world music, but first, a few cultural events from around the world.
Henri Matisse' The Cutouts, the giant of modern art, is exhibited at the Tate Museum in London, a display that recounts the final chapters of his career, with a series of spectacular and colorful cutouts, a collection of 120 works produced between 1936 and 1954. Whether big or small, its parts are surprisingly simple, but showing the ultimate artistic triumph of the artist. The cutouts of Henri Matisse will be on display until September the 7th. Lucio Fontana, a pioneer of abstraction in Italy in the 1930s, prefigured informal artistic expressions with his sandstone sculptures. Before founding the Spatialist movement in 1947, born in Argentina, Milanese by adoption, was known for complicating the viewer's relationship with space and light. The exhibition of around 200 pieces will be on display until August the 24th at the Museum of Art in Ville, Paris. It's summertime, and a favorite hobby for the young and old is to fly kites. In Tel Aviv, the Eretz Israel Museum gives full exposure to this form of art. From Japan to Africa, or from India to Philippines, kites of all countries and all periods. Whether it's a way of prayer or just a hobby, the uses of these flying objects are diverse. As a gift for children who attend, they will receive a kit to build their own kite. Playing with the Wind at the Eretz Israel Museum will be on display until November the 8th.
Joining me now in the studio is our world music expert, Daniel Campos. Thanks for coming in.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm all right. Before you start with the Salsa Choke, I want you to tell me about some interesting albums you found for us.
Well, actually, for today, I thought of introducing, and probably many of you know about Playing for Change, a project founded by Mark Johnson, which is pretty much transcending boundaries, musical boundaries, connecting musicians from all around the world in one music video that will start in, let's say, a specific country, and will go through different countries throughout the music video and end in a totally different country, combining different musical instruments. It's a wonderful project, and I wanted to introduce you to the new version of La Bamba.
Okay, that's their first song that they chose for the project?
A lot of Bob Marley covers. They've done Stand By Me, by Benny King, many different covers. But they chose La Bamba, and La Bamba is a song that has a fascinating history because it's a song, everyone thinks it's a Mexican song, but it's actually a song which was introduced by slaves from Congo and Angola into Mexico.
Let's take a look, and we'll come back. You'll tell us more about it. It is catchy, and if there is a universal language, it is music. That's for sure.
In those few seconds we saw, we were in 4 countries. One musician was in actually Congo, the other musician was in Los Angeles, California, and the man on the harp is in Mexico. It moves on. It's really wonderful. And like I said, it's a song which everyone thinks it's a Mexican song because we relate it to the 1958 hit of Richie Valens, La Bamba. But the song was actually introduced by slaves who were brought to the port of Veracruz, Mexico, and they were from a tribe known as the Mbamba tribe,
really?
from near the Bamba River in Central Africa.
Who would have thunk? So yet another contribution to music by slaves. Seems all good things started somewhere problematic. What else do you have for us?
We also have today, I thought it would be interesting to speak about the most famous internationally known musician from the Central African Republic. His name is Bibi Tanga, and he's a great funk star. He was bringing in elements of soul, mixing it up also with his traditional music. The Central African Republic had a horrible Israel is still having one of the worst years in its history. Was we can call this ethnic cleansing between Christians and Muslims massacring each other, between Seleka and anti-Seleka warriors, as these militias are known. And
But there's also good music, so let's have a taste of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is BB Tonga talking about my new album called Now, Bring On the Juice.
Good music and tap dancing from Central Africa. Thank you, Daniel, so much.
thank you, that.
Thank you for joining us today as well. We'll be back tomorrow with a whole new edition of Culture. Be sure to join us again.